a review of my lightsaber from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Hey guys, Hail Bohse here, and today we're here to talk about the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge lightsaber experience. I was really excited about this, and when my dad told me that we were going to be going, honestly I had no idea. I didn't expect that we were going to be going to Galaxy's Edge and doing the lightsaber experience and going to the cantina. I didn't expect all of that. That was really special, and so I did want to kind of give you guys a review on the lightsaber and kind of what to expect, because I think it's important when you're looking at whether or not you're going to spend $200 on an experience, whether or not it's going to be worth it. So one of the things that I wanted to bring out, first of all, is that the lightsaber at first glance, super solid. I mean, this is a solid piece. That's metal. Like, this is definitely, it feels good. It feels well balanced overall after constructing it. The lightsaber itself is attractive, although the brass pieces are a little more dull than I kind of think I would have liked to have seen. I would have liked them to have a little bit more of a shine to them. But then again, you know, I do realize that they're supposed to seem like scrap metal, and so yeah, okay. I mean, it kind of fits a little bit better that it's a little more dull. But I really do, you know, for the clean looking brass finish, it would have been nice if it was a little more polished. So on that front, you know, you could tell it's like painted over or whatever, but definitely cool. But I didn't just get the lightsaber. I got 3 different kyber crystals, as you can see. And the kyber crystals, originally, I guess, you could buy them, but then people were buying them out, and then so when you went to Doc Undar's, in order to buy an extra kyber crystal for your lightsaber, they wanted you to also buy a holocron, which, let's just be real, that's kind of outrageous. And so they kind of went back on that, and they were like, okay, you don't have to buy a holocron to get a kyber crystal, but you have to, like, you can only buy like 1 of each now. And that's like, okay, that's fair. I was really, really happy that I was able to get a hold of them, because I wanted at least 2, but I ended up getting 3. I ended up getting obviously red, white, and blue. Actually, these were probably 3 of my top color choices, with the exception of the one that I got in Galaxy's Edge during the experience, which was the violet crystal. I have a couple of Force FX lightsabers, and in comparison, I'm gonna say that already just the hilt of this feels a lot more legit. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Force FX lightsabers are really nice. And I have Darth Vader's, and I also have Obi-Wan Kenobi's. They're both great lightsabers, but they don't feel as real as this one does. And maybe it's just part of my imagination because, you know, it's part of the experience or whatever, but I really did enjoy, like, just the whole experience of getting this. But before we get into that, let's just kind of go over a little bit more of the lightsaber. So when it doesn't have the blade in it like it has right now, when you click it on, it just makes a sound. It just, you know, acts like it's not working or whatever, which is kind of cool. But then you put the lightsaber in, makes that cool little sound, and then, nice. So the swinging action feels okay, but one thing that I noticed, the sensor for contact is a little bit off. Maybe it's the blade, maybe it's the hilt, I really don't know what it is. But when it finally does go off, you notice it does give that nice little flash right there, which actually looks really good, and that looks pretty clean. But, you know, overall, the lighting level of the overall tube itself, you know, I suppose you could have a little bit of fun with it because I just do. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I break out my lightsaber once in a while, and me and my buddy Sal, we sometimes just have to have a lightsaber duel. It's a thing, like, we gotta do it. But overall, I mean, it feels sturdy, but probably not something you want to really be, you know, smacking around too much, or you'd probably regret it. The good news is, if you're like me and sometimes you can't resist that temptation, you're probably gonna have to go back to Disneyland, but you can actually replace just the blade piece. But I also wanted to show you that in the building experience, one of the neat things about how this really easily comes apart here, you can see how these two pieces come out. You see that the kyber crystal is nice and neatly inside here, and it even lights up and it stays lit so that you can see the crystal. It seems to be emanating with power. But I'm going to go ahead and remove that one, just like that. You can see I've pulled it out here. I'm going to put this down, and let's try out like a different color. Let's do something, we can do red to kind of get started. Now, the neat thing about the red crystal, which I was hoping for, but it didn't happen, is that I guess there's a black crystal out there. Black kyber crystal, which is like, it's pretty rare from what I understand. They only put a couple, 2 or 3 out like a day. The kyber crystal itself is black. It still emanates red, just like the red crystal, but it's just a little more rare. And I think it's reminiscent of you know, the material that was in Darth Vader's ring. I think that's pretty cool, anyway, that they would pay that much attention to detail. All right, getting these in is a little more difficult than it seems. I like that sound that it makes, is like you're putting the crystal in so you can see it's there, and it's like, oh, there we go. Pretty easy to put back together once you got it going. I like that when I put it back, it lines up exactly how I had it before, and I can just squeeze it tight, and that's where it ends up. That's pretty nice. It's really well made. Yeah. Now notice that it actually has a different sound than the purple one. Feels like it took a lot to make that happen, you know? Anyway, parts are real pain sometimes. But I understand what it's like, because making this thing fit in there and making sure that it stays as you're like swinging it around, so that's probably not easy. So it made it sturdy. It's gonna hold. That's the good news. Oh, I don't know if my table's gonna hold though. Oh yeah! Hear that sound though? So much cooler. Crazy. I like the blue one. I like the blue better than the green, but my favorite of all the different colors is actually gotta be the white. Even though like, I liked the violet. Like, the violet was the one that I wanted because I had, like I said, the other two lightsabers, and the one that I didn't have was violet, and I wanted Mace Windu's lightsaber because I always thought his was very, very attractive. And they have Mace Windu's Legacy lightsaber at Galaxy's Edge, and it works with these blades, which is pretty cool that I found out. But the white crystal, in my opinion, I just felt like it overall had the best look that I felt fit me in my experience. If I had had the choice at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, I would have probably chosen the white in the actual ceremony. But, you know, they didn't have that. They had 4 choices. You had green, you had red, you had blue, and you had violet. In addition to those, they also have white, yellow in the stores as well. So those are the added choices, and I think there's 6 colors in all, with the exception of the black kyber crystal. I really like this one. Listen to that sound, like Ahsoka Tano. This one feels definitely like it also fits this particular saber, which I thought was pretty nice. Overall, I like the sound that it makes too, mostly because it's unique and it's definitely distinct compared to what you would hear out of the blue or the green or the red. They're all distinct, but this one, it just feels like more distinct. It feels more unique than the others, and I really liked this one. The overall set, by the way, was the protection and defense, and there was 4. There was protection and defense, there was control and power, there was elemental nature, and there was one more. Overall, the lightsaber itself, is it worth $200? I don't know. To find out, you should make sure to subscribe and smash that like button. Make sure to give me that Hail Bohse, and, you know, tolerate my shameless plugs. Is it worth $200? The answer, yes. The lightsaber by itself, no. It's kind of a duality of an answer. So the experience with the lightsaber was definitely worth the $200 that you spend. I'm not gonna lie, when I first went in there, I was completely captivated. I mean, you go into the place, everybody looks the part, the scenery looks fantastic, and there's just a bit of magic in the way that the music flows with the script that they've written there for you, and it just goes so nicely. And once you're finished, you really feel like you've bonded with your lightsaber. You know, you feel like it's a part of you. So the experience itself was definitely, I think, worth the $200 that you spend. The quality of the lightsaber, definitely is worth the money as well, but not by itself. So by itself, I'd say it'd probably be worth something around $120, $130, and then okay, you're spending some money for the experience of building it and having the choice of constructing it any way you want to. So the pieces actually, if I break them down like this, and you got like a couple of choices for each section, and you can do whatever combination you want. And the way that this all breaks down is just like so. And I can take this out, and actually these two are the ones that you end up putting on first. So any combination of these, this right here is the chassis overall that you get to use for the lightsaber and what you build on. Which is pretty straightforward. It looks like there's some batteries and stuff right in here. Anyway, so the first thing we did there was they told me that you had to actually line it up. So when you get one of these pieces, these are actually the first ones you put on, and you have to make sure that blue at the end actually lines up with blue. So blue, blue. Straightforward. All right, so we put that there. There's also a red, and you can see where that comes into play as well. So you can snap those two together, and that's actually the first part you put. Then you have a couple of choices of each of these different pieces as well.
Oops. And then of course the top piece, cap it all down, and cap. And there you have it.
At Galaxy's Edge, during the experience, there's just something magical about the way that they have you like put your blade in there and you hold it up in the air to the spire, they say, and they greet you with bright suns. The fact that you're supposed to keep it all low key because you're keeping it away from the Imperials and they're just selling scrap. You know, there's nothing here but scrap for wind chimes and stuff like that, and they totally into it. They don't break character. It's pretty phenomenal and fantastic. And if you've ever wanted something as close as you'd ever get to actually building a lightsaber, I mean, in the end, guys, is it worth it to build your lightsaber for $200? I do believe that it is worth it. I think that the whole experience was fantastic. I don't know how many times you're going to want to do it, but I'm not going to lie. I kind of wanted all of the different build choices to play with, and from what I understand, they're all interchangeable. And any legacy lightsabers at Galaxy's Edge that you might pick up, those are also interchangeable with the blades and stuff. And I understand that I think it comes with a medium, but there might be a larger blade and then also a smaller blade for kids. If you're a little youngling, or if you're like a little Yoda running around, you know, hey, size doesn't matter. It's all about how you use your lightsaber. Alright guys, well I want to thank you for tuning in this time. Hopefully you got a little something out of it and got a little more of what you needed. What do you think about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, the lightsaber experience? Have you ever done it, or do you want to build a lightsaber? And what color would you make your lightsaber? Comment in the section down below. As always, we want to thank you for tuning in to Hail Bohse. May the Force be with you, always.